Hi everyone, so it's the 31st of March coming towards the last 30 minutes of the US session, and here is an interesting observation when we look at the ES, so the S&P futures contract against the VIX here, and you'll find it kind of marries up the same with the SPX as well. But what we're doing here is just looking at this on the 4-hour chart. So what we have now is an overextension on the 20 moving average. So just as a reminder, the blue is the 20 moving average, the pink is the 200 moving average, and the orange is the 400 moving average, and the same color notations here on the VIX chart as well. So here's the interesting observation. We are overextended above the 20 moving average by around sort of almost 100 points. Can you see that? So this is essentially 100 points. So that is definitely an overstretch, okay, without any fundamental news and without any actual fundamental volume other than what we've seen. There hasn't been any significant volume over and above what we've seen earlier. So it really is a kind of um, uh, red herring here, just pulling in those retail traders to make the wrong moves. Because as you know, I have a bearish view on the market anyway, and I've also called these temporary pullbacks. So we're in an extremity over here on the 4-hour basis. But now let's look at something a bit more interesting than this. If we go down to a 1-hour basis, what we see. Again, I'm not getting involved in the implied volatility premium conversation or anything like this right now. I just want to really pull you to a very simple concept here. Can you see how the S&P or the E-mini future here bounces off its pink 200 moving average as it did on the 21st, as it kind of did on the 18th? With that bearish overview in mind, you need to watch one of my earlier videos to see how and why I have that bearish view, and how I expect probably 1,000 points still to come off, up to 1,000 points, anywhere between sort of 700 and 1,000 points to come off from these kind of levels. So here's the interesting thing. I'm going to come straight to the point. Is look at the VIX here. For whatever reason, uh, now I do understand some of the reasoning behind this, but right from the 26th of February through to, I guess, the 18th of March, and then a spike here, 23rd, we have a bounce off the 400 moving average, right? So we have this maybe, what we've got another sort of 5% to go or thereabouts before this just comes down, maybe hovers around here into that key date, which is the 6th of April or 7th of April, if you've been keeping up with Donald Trump's comments with regards to Iran and his ultimatum. So I find this interesting. So as soon as this comes off, it would almost align to this bouncing off its pink line here, and then that's it. That's where I see everything coming off. So I think we may have a bit of an overstretch here. Okay, let's say 600 at the tops, right? See how this is looking on a 30-minute basis. I haven't seen this yet. So on a 30-minute basis, it's kind of coming down, but we've seen it do a bit more than that in the past. So with the 20 moving average still some way to go, I expect prices to continue to rise. Maybe, look, it's neither here or there, maybe 10, 20 points, but there is this energy coming up to the top here. So, okay, let's go to 600 as a top. Now, there's a bit more of a conversation to be had here. What I'm going to say is, if we look at the fair value between the two, or the chart's messed up here, but fair value between the S&P and the ES, so the SPX and the ES, it should be around sort of 42. So that's the fair value premium. So I'm just going to get into some technicalities here a little bit to explore what that fair value is kind of hovering at, what it should be at. All right, this chart's kind of messed up. I need to kick out some of the dead data on this. Here we go. Let's do it here. All right, I'll just hover here. So we are at about fair value of 42. So if we do, where's the SPX? The SPX here is at 6521 plus 42, kind of takes us to around the kind of ES mark. Right. So that needs to come down a bit. I think even that's overstretched. So anyway, I'm not going to get into the complexities around this, and this needs to just be balanced out a bit more here. Yeah, so we got 43. So yeah, this is going to start coming down as well, and I'm quite comfortable. Okay, we might have see the spread increase a little bit, but yeah, I'm quite comfortable that we're going to see this. The reason I was mentioning this fair value premium here is because usually when you have the ES at a round number, and this is coming from a veteran trader, by the way, someone I know who used to use this system. He would. So here's the point. So if we get this to about kind of this is the SPX now, by the way. If we get this to about 6560, okay, then sorry, I beg your pardon, about 6550 here. That's a round number. Okay, that's 6550. If we then add 40 to that, that gives us 6590 on the ES. So let's draw that level in. So anywhere between sort of here and here, I should have put that as a straight line. So kind of like this is where we're looking at our strong short zone. But to be honest, I'm happy at these levels and put give it a decent sort of 40, 50 point stop loss and a kind of 200, 150 to 200 profit target. That if you want to take that risk and wait for that overextension into 6588, I'm sure you're going to get it. But if not, this is still a good level to start cashing in and selling. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please do hit like or subscribe because it's going to encourage me to put more videos. I can do 10 of these a day, but I just need to see there's that traction and commitment to the channel.